What if I told you that the difference between leaving $30,000 on the table and getting the number you actually wanted comes down to how your agent handles just one offer? Not 10 offers, not a bidding war, one. Because right now in this market, just one offer isn't the exception anymore in a lot of Rochester neighborhoods. It's becoming the norm. And if your agent doesn't know how to negotiate that one offer like a seasoned pro, you could be walking away from real money. Here's what I'm going to walk you through today. I'm going to show you exactly how we handle it when a home gets one offer with an escalation clause, including the real conversation word for word that we have with the other agent to protect our seller's number. I'm also going to show you what we do when a home gets 0 offers, because trust me, that is not cause for some big fire alarm. It's simply phase 2 of the plan. I'm going to explain what teaser pricing actually means, because I think a lot of homeowners have the wrong idea about it, and that misunderstanding is costing people money and peace of mind. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you're going to understand this market shift better than most agents do. Hi, my name is Susan Glens. I am the founder and team leader of the Bespoke Homes team with Keller Williams Realty. We are a top 1% real estate team in the greater Rochester and Finger Lakes area of New York, and we are committed to helping our clients sell profitably and confidently. And if you are a homeowner considering selling in the next 6 to 12 months, then you've come to the right place. Let's start with what's actually happening on the ground right now, because this is a hot topic in the Rochester market this month. I recently sat down with a homeowner in the city of Rochester just last week, and I showed her something that made her pause. The average days on market in her neighborhood right now is 16 days, but the average days on market for homes that are actually going pending and closing, 7 days. So I want you to sit with that for a second. 16 versus 7. That's more than double. Now, before you panic, 16 days is still, historically speaking, an incredibly fast-moving market, right? I remember 10 years ago when 45 days on market was completely normal. Nobody blinked. So all this to say, we're not in a crash. We're not in a buyer's market yet, but relative to what buyers and sellers have gotten used to over the last few years, 16 days can feel like a lifetime. And here's the thing, it's not just the city. Over the last month, we've seen these micro shifts show up in Chili on the west side, in Pittsford, and honestly in pockets all over Greater Rochester, and various price points. More listings are going past their offer due dates, and they're sitting outside of that delayed negotiation window a little longer. Some are even taking a price improvement before they get an offer. This is the new normal that we need to plan for, and it starts with understanding pricing strategy. So let's talk about teaser pricing, okay? I want to reframe something for you, because teaser pricing can sound scary to a homeowner the first time they hear it. It can sound like a trick, right? It sounds like a fake number, like we're going to undersell your home. And that's not what it is at all. Okay. Teaser pricing is a strategic decision to list your home slightly under what we believe true market value to be in order to generate urgency and drive showing traffic and create competition among buyers. When done correctly, it's one of the most powerful tools we have in this market. Done incorrectly, or done by an agent who's just guessing, it can completely backfire. And I know the questions running through your mind right now, because I hear them every single week. Susan, what if we don't get any offers? Don't worry, we have a plan for that. What if we only get one offer? We have options for that too. Susan, do we have to sell it for the price we advertised? This one's my favorite. The answer is no. In fact, you are not obligated to sell your home for the price that you advertised, nor do you have to accept an offer $100,000 over if, for example, you wanted $150,000 over and the market bears it, right? So basically, you can take your house off the market at any point. Just because you put it online doesn't mean you have to sell it, okay? And go back to the list price. Well, the list price is simply an invitation to start a conversation, nothing more. So let's dig into both scenarios, starting with the one that trips people up the most. Scenario number 1, you only get one offer. Here's the good news I want you to hold on to. It only takes one. We can work with one. We can't work with none. So one offer is a seat at the table, and that's all a skilled negotiator needs. So what do we actually do? Well, we negotiate the old-fashioned way. Now, a lot of newer agents have never had to do this, right? Because for the last several years, the last like 6 or 7 years, escalation clauses kind of did the negotiating for them. They do the heavy lifting. So quick refresher, an escalation clause is a clause a buyer includes in their offer that automatically increases their offer in set increments above a competing offer, up to a maximum ceiling that they specify, okay? And in a hot bidding war market, that clause really does the heavy lifting for the agent. They don't have to negotiate anything when it comes to price generally. The buyers just bid up against each other on paper, and it's great for the seller. But here's the problem, okay? When there's no competing offer to escalate against, a lazy or unseasoned agent can leave serious money on the table for their sellers because they've never had to actually negotiate. They've only had to kind of referee. Let me walk you through a real example of how this plays out. And this actually happened to me recently with some of my sellers. Let's say a home is listed at $500,000. Based on comparable sales, we know that the true market value is actually closer to $620,000. And I mean, the comps genuinely support that, right? Similar homes that also listed around $500,000 closed between $600,000 and $650,000. So we decide to follow suit. We go to market at $500,000. That's intentional teaser pricing. But this time the market has shifted a little. So showing traffic comes in lighter than it used to, maybe only 4 or 5 private showings. Open house traffic is decent, but not exceptional. And when the offer due date arrives, we get exactly one offer. And that buyer offers the list price, $500,000, with an escalation clause up to $630,000. So actually inside the market value that we feel it's worth, right? A newer or unseasoned agent might panic. They have no other offer to escalate off of. So technically, that value of that first offer and only offer is $500,000. I'm going to walk you through what a seasoned agent does to make that $500,000 offer actually closer to the ceiling of that buyer's cap. So our conversation with the buyer's agent is going to sound something like this. Hi, Kim. Thank you so much for your strong offer. I can really tell that you've done your homework and you understand market value in this neighborhood, right? I want them to know that I'm confident that they got the number right, okay? So it looks like we landed on the same comps and that your escalation number is right around where I expected this to fall. The good news is my clients intend to work with your offer. Now, I'll be transparent with you. We don't have another offer to escalate against at the moment, but there are buyers circling this property, and we both know that tomorrow there will be a fresh set of inquiries. So let's put this to bed tonight for everyone's benefit. My sellers were hoping to land closer to $650, and your offer does not quite get us there, but I'm confident we can bring this together. My clients are prepared to accept your offer today at $620,000. Think about what happened there. Okay, that's $10,000 under the buyer's absolute ceiling, right? They offered up to $630. We came back and said, we'll take it for $620 with nothing to escalate on, but it's a win for them because they were willing to pay $630 and now they're going to get it for $620. And my clients, my sellers, get to move forward into their next chapter with clarity, certainty, and without dragging this out. And that's a win too. Nobody got tricked. Nobody got squeezed unfairly. It was transparent and it was fair. I want you to think about how that conversation left the other agent feeling, right? Number one, it left them feeling like they did a great job presenting a really strong offer and they know the value. They're a smart agent. They know the value of that property, right? They led their buyer to a really strong offer. It also gave that agent confidence that I'm going to be transparent with them. I'm not hiding anything. This is what it is. This is the client. This is the price my clients expect. And the good news is we're in the same ballpark. So let's work together, right? There's no games. There's no hiding. There's no, oh my gosh, there's nothing to escalate. No, it is what it is. We all know that that was a teaser strategy, right? Now let's talk about what we all know to be true about market value and put this deal together. So I think it's really important to think about how do you leave the other side feeling in a negotiation. Now, you might be asking, Susan, what if that other offer hadn't come in with an escalation at all, right? Well, simple. We just counter at that point. And yes, you can absolutely counter above the list price. I say this all the time, and I think I said it earlier, the list price is not a ceiling. It's simply an invitation. It's the opening line of a conversation about buying your house. It's not the final word. One more thing that I want to mention here because I think it's important. Some agents, rather than the strategy that I chose and I walked you through, they'll call for what's called highest and best in this situation. And highest and best implies that there's other offers on the table, okay? And technically, we do not have to disclose, right? We owe our clients confidentiality, so we don't have to disclose the presence of other offers. And yet, in this market, I think that buyer's agents are accustomed to getting that information. And so when an agent doesn't disclose it, it can feel cagey and it can feel like they're kind of dodging the question, right? When an agent calls for best and final or highest and best, you kind of assume there's other offers on the table. And that can backfire because if all of a sudden they find out there wasn't and they were just a buyer competing against themselves, buyers can get real upset real fast and simply walk away, which is why I err on the side of transparency. And agents respect the transparent approach. They've usually sat on both sides of the table themselves, right? Representing buyers and representing sellers at one point. So they understand shifting markets and they know how finicky they can be. A strong buyer's agent can walk their client through a fair, logical counteroffer, right? When it's delivered with honesty. But when it's delivered with a side of skepticism or gamesmanship, emotions take over, right? We're human beings, and buyers can walk away from the table entirely. Let's move on to scenario 2. You don't get any offer. Now let's talk about this because I don't want you thinking this is doom and gloom. If your home doesn't generate an offer, we do not panic. We simply move into phase 2 of the marketing plan. First, we evaluate the list price honestly. Did we actually price this as a teaser, meaning genuinely below market to drive activity? Or did we price it at what I want to call like a wannabe teaser pricing, where maybe it looks like teaser price on paper, but the market actually doesn't agree with our comps, right? Where it's not teaser enough and buyers are still a little bit nervous to compete at that price. I've seen homes go through a strategic, well-timed price improvement and end up selling for more than the original list price, simply because that adjustment reignited urgency and brought buyers who've been sitting on the fence. Second, and this one matters a lot, we do not use yo-yo pricing here, okay? I have watched agents raise a price by $50,000 only to drop it by $100,000 a few weeks later, desperately hunting for whatever number will finally generate an offer. It's like throwing spaghetti at the wall, right? Or playing darts. In most cases, that's not a pricing problem at all. It's a patience problem, and we still have to have patience in this market. Third option, when we have no offers after delayed negotiations, is we stay the course and we let the market breathe. More buyers enter the pool every single week, and maybe some were out of town when your home first listed, or some maybe just started their home search and came into the market. You will very likely see a second and even a third wave of interested buyers come through. And at this stage, since you're typically past the initial delayed negotiation window, right, it becomes absolutely critical that your agent is picking up the phone, having one-on-one conversations with every single agent who shows the home so that we know exactly where buyers stand on price, because that intel is everything. This market in Rochester, New York and the Finger Lakes is shifting, not collapsing, shifting. 16 days versus 7 days on market of active inventory is a real signal, and it means that the negotiating skill of your agent matters more than it has in years. And whether you get one offer or zero offers, there is a strategic, calm, confident path forward. You are never obligated to accept a number that doesn't work for you, and you are never without options. And this is exactly the kind of tough, clear, confident conversation that I believe every seller deserves to have before they list, not after. So if you're ready to start your home selling journey and you're seeking expert guidance from someone who is willing to have these tough conversations to create clarity and empower you to move forward no matter what comes next, click the link below to connect with my team and get started today. And if you're a discerning homeowner in the Rochester and Finger Lakes area and you found this content valuable, hit the like button for me. And you can subscribe for more content just like this, or you can also comment below and let us know what topics you'd like to hear in the future. Thanks so much. See you next time.